everybody. So I'm Craven, and I need your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, smack that notification bell. I get links in the comments. Click on those. Like, comment, subscribe. Help me out however you feel like, but subscribe. So today's the day for a new video. So let's go have an adventure. Hey everybody. So I'm out here traipsing through the woods and I'm looking for places that could possibly have dry spots on them. And right here's one. If we look, if you can see that little dead spot on that tree and some of those limbs, inside that right there could be some dry stuff. And as you're walking along, you find things like this right here. Looking underneath, sometimes you can find dry stuff underneath that has not gotten hit by the rain. None of this is all soaked in. Actually, you're kind of looking for a little bit bigger logs than that. I came out to this section of the forest because I've never been here before. And so, but if you can hear, every once in a while, something cracks underneath my feet. If I was really paying attention, I'd stop, grab that just broke because it snapped. Okay? Even though it's rained, the leaves, and you can hear it, the leaves have protected that from getting wet. So even though it's rained for the last several days, it could be very dry underneath. Another thing, dead wood like that, usually too punky to even mess with. But I saw it on coming in here. See if I can find the tree again. Hold on just a second. There was a tree with a knot in it as I was coming in. I just saw it. To this section. Now these are perfect. If you look up in here, this stuff is completely dry. You can get in there and break some of that out. Find a nice dry place to put it. So I'm going to take my schmog, lay it out a little bit, put that in there, and I'm going to collect a little bit of this out of this knot hole. 1 second, please. Yeah. A little bit of dry stuff there. And let me go back and collect some of that stuff that was crackling, and I'll be right back. Sorry about the quality of the light, but just wanted to say that there are times, now on a tree that was kind of leaning to the side, a dead one, found a good piece of bark, dug off the side of it. You can see some of this is really wet, but there is some of this that is dry. And it's little flakes towards the inside that's going to catch it. Oh, I dropped it. It's going to catch a spark fairly well. But what this large piece is going to do is it's going to give me a base to set down. I'll show you that real quick. Just set it down on the ground and give me a dry spot to build my fire on. Give me a dry spot to build a fire on. Now, show you this. See how wet that is? Basically, that's worthless, except for the fact that if you split it open, you can get to the dry stuff inside and save the dry stuff. So take and scrape off all the wet around the outside. make sure not to cut myself here. Split it down the center, and then the center is dry. So you can split that out to be fourths and have a little bit more wood that is actually dry on the inside but is wet on the outside. Now had somebody take me out to the woods, and I spent 4 days or 5 days. It was 5 days. Now this was a long time ago, okay? Spent 5 days in the woods freezing my backside off because I couldn't start a fire. It started raining about the time I got dropped off, and by the time I had hiked into the location that I was going to camp at, I didn't know these tricks. And so splitting off all this nice little wood inside, setting that up for my cut, but spent it just pouring rain, and by the time I got there, everything was wet. There was no dry stuff. This stuff is a little moist, but hold on. Let's see, when you pop it open, the inside's dry. So you're going to want to take your time and peel some of this off. When you're freezing, this would be good stuff to know, okay? So just saying. I'm going to break all this stuff up and get back to you in a second. Okay, so see how I'm splitting this all out? And I've got enough stuff here to give you the idea. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I know you guys know how to make a fire, but it's in how you make a fire in the cold and wet. So I've got my essentials pack. Don't need a flashlight. It's bright enough out here. Matches. Lighter. Ferro rod. Altoid stem. Now I can see what I'm doing again. In here I've got lint. Love using lint for fires. This is great stuff. Now if it was raining currently, I'd take my jacket off and I would put it over everything, top over my head, use the flashlight and work in the dark to keep everything dry. That's not the case today. So let's say it's cold. You only need so much tinder to make a fire. No, use your tinder, okay? Take out twice what you'd normally use if you've got the extra. If you don't have the extra, I understand that, but in that case, maybe it's best to use everything you have rather than not use enough. Because remember, you're going to have to start drying some of this out, some of this wood out before you catch it on fire. I mean, there's a lot of dead wood here. Most of it, the outside's wet. I got to get through that wet to get the fire going. But I was saying that I spent several nights, 5 nights I do believe it was. Maybe it was 5 days and 4 nights. Like I said, it was a long time ago. And I got wet. Everything was wet. And I didn't know how to make a fire back then as well as I do today. So I emptied out all of my lint. Now, I don't plan on using all of it, but I do plan on making some more char cloth. So the fact that I don't have any is testament to the fact that I'd kind of let the last one burn up just a little bit too much in the fire. So going with a new can, and I would put some cloth in here, probably cut some off my schmog, get the nice little tassels on there and stuff like that, just to make some new char cloth once I get going. So put that right there. Okay, so it's cold, it's wet, you have nothing dry, you have no tinder either. Maybe I've got another solution for you. So something I didn't think about was inside my coat, in the lining, I have this kind of stuff. Well, you can stretch this out, peel your knife across it, and in no time flat, not cutting your jacket up. I mean, you need your jacket. You can cut some of that excess hair that really may not be doing any good as far as keeping you warm. And in just that amount of time, I got enough fluff as just fluff. I can keep going for a little bit here and get enough to use as a fire starter. The other thing that I read in a book from the late 1700s was that Native Americans on the East Coast, a lot of them would take and use a lock of their hair when it was really wet. So, yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, so it's not that cold out here. I'm not going to cut off my beard just to make a point, but you get my idea. Hair burns at about the same temperature that paper does, so it'll catch a flame fairly easy. So I would take, at this point, get some of my tinder together, get some of my light stuff ready that I've already split out. I've already split it and made the stuff light. I've got some other little sticks here, and what I'm going to do is get this going. Now, one of the camera keeps shutting off on me. One of the other things that people try and do is they freehand their ferro rod. I don't like that so much because I've seen a lot of people take their knife, and when they pull on their ferro rod, their knife smacks their tinder bundle and it goes flying a little bit. Not a good choice. So what we're going to do here, okay, we've got fire going, and there you have it. And so we have a little fire lit. Now all I need to do is add a few sticks to this, and we're in good shape. That right there is enough to get you going. And if I'd have had that many years ago, I wouldn't have spent so many cold nights in the woods. So, hey, thank y'all. I appreciate you. Till next time.